Muscles of our body must be strong and efficient. Our diet must include proteins and carbohydrates in sufficient quantity for the proper growth and repair of muscles. So our muscles of our body, how they have to be strong and efficient, and it all depends on our diet. So when we eat a proper diet including proteins and carbohydrates in sufficient quantity, it helps us for our proper growth and repair of muscles. So that means if there is any damage in your muscles, your body has to be able to repair. So for that we have to eat good amount of proteins and good amount of carbohydrates. Then we must get regular exercise. It makes the muscles strong. During exercise, movement of the heart muscles become rapid. Now when you exercise every day, supposing you just try to run about or you try to do some small PT exercises or anything in your house. Okay, now in the picture you can see that when people go to the gym, what they do, they try to make their triceps and biceps, correct, or they try to have six pack abs and all. So what is all that? They are exercising to make their muscles strong. Okay, so during this exercise, when you try to, even when you go to the gym, okay, movement of your heart becomes more rapid. Even if you try to exercise in the house, what happens, you are exercising, suddenly you're making your body move too much, correct? So your heart is getting, it starts beating fast. That is, your heart muscles become more rapid. Why it becomes rapid? Because your heart has to pump more blood, because you are getting tired, so definitely your heart also starts beating faster. Then breathing too becomes faster, ensuring a sufficient supply of oxygen and nutrients to various parts of the body. That means breathing also has become faster to ensure that sufficient supply of oxygen and nutrient to various parts of the body. So when you breathe fast, what happens? You are ensuring, or you are taking care that your sufficient supply of oxygen has been reached to different parts of your body. Then we must sit with a straight back and not with a back hunched or bent. Your sitting posture is very important. Okay, see, when you sit even in the class, what you are doing, you are bending and sitting. When you sit straight, what happens? For a period of time you feel that your back is paining. Why? Because you have already got a habit of sitting with a hunched back. But if you make it a habit to sit straight, then your posture will be straight and your shoulder and your neck also won't pain. Okay, so gradually changes occur in the structure of the vertebrate, meaning if you don't sit in a proper position, what will happen? Your body will start having certain changes. Okay, when your body takes up to certain changes, meaning your vertebrate column will start getting into a curved shape. Why? Because every day if you sit with a hunched back, your body is getting used to that posture, so when you walk also you will walk with a hunch. Okay, so what will happen? Your ultimately you will realize that your vertebrate column only has taken its shape, has been changed, and it has taken the structure of the hunched back. So that is why we have to see to our posture. When we sit, it has to be straight. Then otherwise gradually changes occur in the structure of the vertebrae. Muscles in the shoulder and back begin to hurt. That is, when you don't sit properly, after some time when you try to become straight, what happens? Your back is paining, your shoulder starts paining. So that is why posture is very important. Disorders of the vertebral column may also arise. So you can also be beginning with problems like your vertebrate column. You can have various problems with it, like your vertebral column can be twisted or whatever. You can definitely develop some disorder related to it. Then again over here, even when you sit on the chair or if you're sitting on your sofa, very few people have got a perfect sitting posture. If you sit straight, what happens? You are keeping your shoulders straight, your back is straight, you are sitting in a proper position. But if you sit in a hunched way, what happens? First of all, your back starts paining, your shoulders start paining, then you start getting irritated. So that means sitting posture is very important. Then if you don't sit properly, As I told you, see the normal spine and look at the other spine. What has happened? These are the disorders of the vertebral column. Your back has developed a hunch because you have always been sitting in this position. So sitting posture is very important with your vertebral column. Then the study of muscles is called myology. Contraction is the basic property of muscles. The largest muscle of our body is in the thigh. That means your thigh muscles are your largest muscles in your entire body. And the smallest muscle is attached to the bone of the ear. You can see that small muscle over there where it is already mentioned. It is called as the stapes. So your largest muscle is in your thigh and the smallest muscle is in your ear, which you call as stapes. Then we have finished with the first part of the lesson, that is the muscular system. Now we will continue with the second part of the lesson, that is your digestive system. Now what is your digestive system? Conversion of food into soluble form and its absorption into the blood is what you call as digestion. So your food gets converted in your body, correct? And who does the function of conversion? Your digestive system. That is beginning from the mouth. When your food goes in your mouth, then it goes in your esophagus and your stomach, and then small intestine. What's not required, all that goes in your large intestine and out of your body. So this entire process is what is called by the process of digestion. So basically your digestive system controls the entire digestion of whatever you eat from the day in and day out. Then the total length of the alimentary canal is about 9 meters. The length of the alimentary canal is how much? 9 meters. Now what are the main parts of the alimentary canal? Its main parts are the mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum and anus. Okay, so these are all your different parts of the digestive system, wherein each and every part has at least little contribution in your process of digestion, beginning from the mouth to your anus. Then different organs of the digestive system systematically perform the function of digestion. That means different organs of digestive system are systematically performing the function of digestion. So this is your digestive system. You have your mouth. In your mouth you have your salivary glands, which produce saliva and helps you to chew your food and moisten the food. Then it goes down to your esophagus. After that you have your liver. Over there you have your gallbladder. Then your stomach. Connected to your liver you have your pancreas. Then your large intestine, small intestine, rectum and your anus. So these are the proper parts of your digestive system that is there inside every human body. Now moving ahead with your beginning with the first part of your digestive system in your mouth, that is your teeth. What does your teeth do? It helps you to chew your food. Now the process of digestion begins with the function of the teeth in the mouth. There are 4 types of teeth, namely incisors, canines, premolars and molars. Each type of tooth has a specific function. Definitely, if they are given different names and they have different shapes, they will definitely have different functions also. Then each tooth is covered by a hard substance called enamel. Okay, so enamel is a coating that is given to it. So enamel is made up of calcium salt. So that is the coating that is there. It is made up of calcium salt. Then in the picture you can see the 4 types of teeth, that is your incisors, canine, premolar and your molar. Then you can see the front teeth. Then you have your canines. So your front 4 teeth are your incisors. Then after that you have your canine teeth. Then you have premolar teeth a little at the back, and then you have your last tooth that you say, which are the molars. The last three teeth are your molars. Before that you have two premolars. Before that you have two canine teeth on either sides, and then in the front you have incisors. So these are the four types of human teeth. Now, next we move on to what is saliva. Saliva contains an enzyme called ptyalin or salivary amylase. Now, what is enzyme? Enzymes are basically, they are substances that are secreted in our body of an organism which brings about specific chemical reaction. So, an enzyme is bringing specific chemical reaction. Okay, so your saliva contains an enzyme called, over here what it has, ptyalin or salivary amylase. Okay, so these ptyalin and salivary or amylase are what is creating chemical reactions in your saliva. Then ptyalin converts starch into sugar, and that is called as maltose. Now, these are your salivary glands. In the picture, you can see where your salivary glands are located. So, from these salivary glands only the secretion of the saliva takes place. And that helps you to chew your food and to moisten your food when you are eating. Then, now what are enzymes? Enzymes are substances, as I just told you, enzymes are substances secreted in the body of an organism which brings about specific chemical reactions. So what are they doing? They are bringing specific chemical reactions. They act as catalyst. Digestive enzymes of the digestive system bring about changes in the food materials. Okay, so these enzymes are having some specific chemical reactions that are taking place, so it is also bringing changes in our food material, that is in your digestion process. Then metabolic process are impossible without enzymes. That means enzymes are a specific type of protein. I mean, you require that for your digestion process because it performs a chemical reaction. They are most active at normal body temperature. So when are they active? They are active at our normal body temperature. Then after we finish with the teeth, we come to our parts of the digestive system, beginning with the mouth. Digestion of food begins in the mouth, where food is chewed up with the help of the teeth into very small pieces. So what is happening when you eat, when you take something in your mouth, what do you do? First thing in your mouth is you start beginning to chew your food. And what helps you to chew your food? Your saliva mixes with the food in your mouth, and you are able to chew the food properly, and then you are able to swallow it. Then you have your salivary glands. Now after you take the food in the mouth, what does your salivary glands help you with? Saliva is produced in the salivary glands in the mouth cavity located in the front of the ear near the pharynx and below the tongue. Okay, so in the picture you can clearly see where the salivary glands, as I already showed you, is located in the front of the ear and near the pharynx below the tongue. It is carried to the mouth via ducts. It is mixed with the food during the process of chewing. So during the process of chewing, it helps you to mix with the food. Why? Because it helps you to keep the food moist, and it helps you to chew the food and churn it properly. Okay, so this is the function of the salivary gland. Then after that you have the pharynx or the throat, you can say. Now the esophagus and the trachea opens into the pharynx. So both open in the pharynx, the esophagus also and the trachea. So you can see that green color portion is the pharynx. Then we have the esophagus. It is a tube from the pharynx to the stomach. It pushes the food towards the stomach. So once your food is chewed in your mouth, Okay, when you swallow your food, how does it reach your stomach? With the help of the esophagus. So from the mouth to your stomach, you have this tube, that is esophagus, which helps you to push the food down for further process in your stomach. So that is the function of the esophagus. Then we have the liver. The liver is the largest gland in the body. It has rich supply of blood. Okay, so there is more supply of blood in the liver, and it is your largest gland in the body. Its main function is the storage of glucose. So it stores glucose in the liver. The gallbladder is situated below the liver. Can you see that small green color thing over there in the image? That is your gallbladder. Then it stores the bile, that is the digestive juice secreted by the liver. Okay, so that means the bile juice is stored, and that is from where that is secreted. It is secreted by the liver. So when bile is carried into the small intestine, it mixes with the food there and helps in the digestion of fats. Okay, so the bile juice helps in the digestion of fats. Why? Because it contains bile salts. So bile contains bile salt. So basically you have each organ that has got its own secretion, and that juice helps in the process of digestion. Then we have after that pancreas. Now the pancreas secrete the pancreatic juice that contains various enzymes. So that means pancreas also have got its own juices. So they secrete various juices like the pancreatic juice, and it has got various enzymes in it which helps to perform chemical reactions in the process of digestion. Then after that we have the stomach. The large sac-like part of the alimentary canal is called the stomach. The gastric glands of the stomach secrete gastric juice. So in your stomach you have three components of gastric juice. Okay, so your gastric glands, which juice they secrete? Gastric juice. So food that has entered the stomach is churned. That whatever food you eat goes into your stomach. So that food is mixed over there. It is churned properly. Then three components of gastric juice, namely hydrochloric acid, pepsin and mucus, are mixed with the food here and it becomes acidic. So when you eat, whatever goes into your stomach is mixed with the juices in your stomach, that is your hydrochloric acid, pepsin and mucus. It is mixed with your food, and what happens? The food becomes more acidic. Mainly proteins are digested in the stomach. So what is digested? Proteins are digested in your stomach. Due to the churning and the action of gastric juice, food becomes a semi-solid slurry which is slowly pushed into the small intestine. Semi-solid slurry meaning it becomes like a little, you can say, kind of a paste. Okay, so once it is all mixed up, it has all become acidic with the help of the different juices, and that with the help of it, the food being churned, it becomes a semi solid slurry, and then it is pushed into the small intestine. Now what is the small intestine's function? The small intestine, first of all, it is about 6 meters long. Most of the digestion and absorption of food takes place here. Three different digestive juices are mixed with the food in the small intestine. So even over here they are mixed with amount of juices secreted. Absorption into the blood of nutrients obtained by the digestion of food occurs in the small intestine. So whatever absorption is there into the blood of the nutrients that you have obtained from that particular food that you have eaten, it all occurs in the small intestine. Then you have your large intestine. The large intestine is about 1.5 meters long. Now, small intestine is longer. If you go to see, it is 6 meters long, and a large intestine is 1.5 meters long. Only water is absorbed in the large intestine. So whatever watery substance is there, only that is absorbed in your large intestine. So a small part called the appendix is attached to the first part of the large intestine. You can see that small part of appendix that is shown in the picture, that is at the beginning of your large intestine. Undigested remains of the food digested in the small intestine enter the large intestine. Okay, so whatever is undigested remains of the food that have been digested by the small intestine, they all enter the large intestine. And undigested material, what has not been able to get digested by your body, that is thrown out of your body with the help of your anus. So that is what we have as the different, you can say, parts of the digestive system, and what does each part and how is the function of each part, that is what we just seen. Now let us see the important glands of the digestive system, their secretion and their function. So first one we have, first organ is the mouth. It has got a gland, that is a salivary gland. It secretes saliva, that is ptyalin, and the function is it conversion of starch into maltose. So it is converting whatever starches are in your mouth into maltose. Then you have the next organ, that is your stomach. Now your stomach has got a gastric wall. We just now seen that there are three types of gastric juices also: hydrochloric acid, pepsin and your mucus. So your gastric juice secretion is hydrochloric acid, pepsin and mucus, and the function is it makes the food acidic, breakdown of the proteins, that is it helps you to break down your proteins and to protect the inner lining of the stomach from hydrochloric acid. Then the next gland is your liver. The secretion of the liver, it secretes which juice? That is your bile juice. It helps you to make your food alkaline. Alkaline means it's the opposite of acidic. Then to convert large fat particles into small ones. So that means liver helps in the conversion of particles of fat, that is emulsification of fat. It is nothing but converting large fat particles into small ones. Then next gland you have your pancreas, that is pancreatic juice. Pancreatic juice secretion is what? Trypsin, lipase and amylase. Okay, these are the three juices that are secreted. Then to convert proteins into amino acids, that means the function is it helps to convert the protein into your amino acids. It also helps to convert fats into fatty acids and glycerol. Okay, so it is helping you to convert those fatty acids into glycerol. Then to convert complex carbohydrates into simple sugar. So what is happening? It is breaking down your carbohydrates into simple sugar. Then lastly you have an organ, small intestine. The secretion of the small intestine is the intestinal juice, and its function to convert proteins into amino acids and to convert complex carbohydrates into glucose and to convert fats into fatty acids and glycerol. So small intestine has also got around three functions. First one, it is converting proteins into amino acids. That means proteins are converted into acid. Then it also helps to break down carbohydrates into glucose, and it also converts fat into fatty acids and glycerol. So basically each organ in your body or each gland in your body has its own secretion of that respective juices, and those juices help in the performing of the function in digestion of your food. Okay, so it helps in either converting or breaking down into simpler fats or simpler sugar, all that. So this is how your digestive system functions. I hope this concept is clear. Then the last factor, now risk factors. Are we putting our health at risk? Let us check that. Physical health is extremely important in personality development. That means if you want to develop a good personality, you definitely have to have good physical health. When all our organ systems function properly, we say that our health is good or we are in a good health. That means if our body is functioning properly, if our organs are functioning properly, definitely we will not have any problem. So we can say that we are fit and we are healthy. Then, however, harmful habits like smoking, chewing of tobacco, drinking alcohol affect our health adversely. Like if you smoke, what happens? The smoking, it affects your liver. Sorry, it affects your lungs. Okay, so when you smoke too much, what happens? Your lungs are getting damaged, so you will definitely have problem with your breathing. Why? Because lungs are getting damaged. Then again, tobacco, it can cause mouth cancer and all. We have seen that. Then drinking alcohol also, what happens? It affects your liver. So what is happening over here is that all this, like smoking, chewing tobacco, drinking alcohol, it is affecting your organs. And if it starts affecting your organs, will your organs be able to function properly? No. And if your organs are not able to function properly, will you be able to live a healthy life? No. So that is the reason why we have to avoid all these harmful habits and not take risk for our life, but instead of that, stop smoking, stop chewing tobacco, and not to drink alcohol, so that we live a healthy life without affecting our organs in the body. Then now let us see what are the effects of tobacco, alcohol and smoking on the digestive system. Like how does it affect? Now, if we consume any tobacco products, the mouth, pharynx, alimentary canal and other organs of the digestive system cannot function properly. I told you, if you eat, what happens? It is affecting, it is harming your digestive system. So, it begins with your mouth. You are chewing tobacco in your mouth. What happens? It goes into your pharynx and your alimentary canal and the other organs. So, definitely your digestion will not be done properly because it has affected your digestive system. Then, it causes problems like vomiting, nausea. That nausea is nothing but you start feeling uneasy, and headache. Besides, tobacco particles stick to the teeth, gum and the skin of the mouth cavity, slowly causes injury to those parts, resulting in their dysfunction. We have seen, right, in movies and all, when we watch, before every movie they show you about tobacco and what happens when you eat tobacco. You get that mouth cancer and that looks so ugly, right? So that means it is affecting your health so much, and people are so into eating of tobacco, smoking and drinking alcohol. It is totally a disguise, it is total problem to your internal organs, which ultimately will affect you, and you only will be at risk, and you only will be harming your own self with your own hand. So rather not to do such things which will result in their dysfunction. Then this causes the swelling of gums and pains when moving the jaws. What is happening when you eat tobacco? All your jaws start swelling up. So then when you move or when you talk, it starts paining. Then who's suffering? You only are suffering. Then the pharynx and the intestine becomes inflamed, and the condition further progresses into cancer, leading to death. So what are you doing? You are causing death for yourself with your own hands. First you get addicted. First you say I want to try, because everyone does. I also want to just try. I will not get addicted. But what happens? Slowly you feel that okay, no, I am getting something through it. So then you start getting addicted to it. Once you start getting addicted, you take it very often, then you start harming your own health, and that leads to cancer, and then slowly it can also lead into death. So what have you done? You have harmed your own health which was functioning properly. You have, with your own hands, you have harmed your health, and you only have lost your life with your own hands. So that is why we have to be very careful at what risk we take on our life, and see that whatever is not needed for our body, we have to keep that away from ourselves. Like tobacco, alcohol, smoking, all this has to be kept away from us, because if we don't have a healthy life, we will not be able to enjoy all the days of our life. I hope you have understood this. Then 31st May is World No Tobacco Day, and 7th April is World Health Day. Important dates: 31st May is World No Tobacco Day, and 7th April is World Health Day. That doesn't mean only on 31st May no one will smoke and drink, or no one will have tobacco. You have to see to it that these things have to be stopped. Why? Because they are harmful for your health and you are causing harm to your own health. Your own body will not function well. Other people will not suffer. It will be you who will suffer if you take up all these bad habits. I hope you have understood your muscular system and your digestive system properly, all your parts and the types of the muscular system and your parts of the digestive system. Thank you, boys.